You've never seen anything like this. Nothing in your whole life prepared you for it. You've tracked animals across frozen tundra. You've read weather and cloud shapes. You know which plants kill and which ones heal. You've survived winters that took half your group. You are, by every measure of your world, competent, dangerous even. Then you walk over a ridge, and you see it. Glass towers, 40 stories tall, lights blinking in patterns you can't read, a sound that never stops. Not thunder, not animals, not anything. Your brain reaches for a category. There isn't one. That's not wonder. That's not excitement. That's a kind of cognitive collapse. Every framework you've ever built to understand the world fails at once. And you're standing there with a spear, completely unprepared. The sound hits first. It's constant. A low roar underneath everything. Then horns, engines, metal on metal. None of it biological. Your brain evolved to parse sound for threat. Every noise in your world meant something. Wind in certain leaves meant rain. A specific bird call meant predator nearby. Silence from one direction meant something large was moving there. Sound was information. Here, sound is noise. Thousands of sounds layered on top of each other with no pattern you can access. Your threat detection system fires on everything simultaneously. That's not metaphor. That's neurology. A brain built for savanna threat reading thrown into a sonic environment it was never designed for. You wouldn't be curious. You'd be overwhelmed. Every instinct would be screaming. You couldn't filter any of it. Then the scale registers. The buildings. Your tallest structure was maybe 15 feet, a solid shelter, strong enough to keep wind out. These are 400 feet of steel and glass. Your brain doesn't have a reference point for that height. You understand trees. The tallest ones you've seen reach maybe 100 feet. This is 4 times that. Made from materials you've never encountered. Glass is sand. You didn't know that. Steel is iron ore and carbon. You didn't know that either. To your eyes, these aren't buildings. They're something geological, something that grew here over ages. Your whole concept of what humans can build tops out at carved bone and stacked stone. Whatever this is sits so far beyond that threshold it occupies a completely different category. Not construction, something else entirely. The roads would stop you cold. Flat, gray, perfectly even, stretching further than you can see. Nothing in nature is this flat. Nothing this uniform. Your feet know uneven ground. Rock, mud, grass. This surface offers no information. And then the cars. Metal objects moving at 50, 60 miles an hour with nothing visible pulling them. No legs, no effort, just movement. Fast, directed, relentless. Your brain would classify them as animals. Large, noisy, moving in herds along a fixed path. You'd stay off the road. You'd be right too. The smell confirms the threat. Exhaust fumes, burning hydrocarbons. Nothing in your experience smells like that. Not fire, not rot, not animal musk. Something chemical, something entirely foreign, something that says, stay back. Night would be the most disorienting thing of all. Darkness was your world's great equalizer. Night meant danger. Night meant the predators with better eyes than yours had every advantage. Your whole life you've read stars for navigation, watched the moon for timing. Darkness was a real condition, a force that changed everything. Then the sun drops here, and nothing changes. The city lights up, street lights, building windows, headlights, digital signs cycling through colors. The sky above glows orange. You can see for blocks in every direction. Your night vision, which you've spent a lifetime developing, is completely useless. There's nothing to adapt to. The dark never arrives. It's been pushed so far back, it doesn't exist here. That alone would be incomprehensible. The thing you feared every night of your life simply doesn't happen. Food. Your entire existence organized around it. Finding it, catching it, storing it, rationing it. Winter meant scarcity. Summer meant constant work. A successful hunt fed your group for days. You knew hunger. Chronic background hunger was part of being alive. Walk into a grocery store, 40,000 products. Meat in sealed plastic, fruit in February, bread in shapes you've never imagined. A single building containing more calories than your group could eat in a year. Cold air pumped through the whole space. Everything preserved, nothing rotting. Your brain, built to constantly calculate food availability against survival odds, would short-circuit. There's no framework for this much abundance. The concept of scarcity, which shaped every decision you ever made, becomes structurally irrelevant. In one building, in 20 minutes, the people, 8 million of them in one city. Your whole world was 30, maybe 50 people. Everyone you'd ever known. You recognized every face, knew every voice. Trusted relationships built over years of shared survival. Everyone outside your group was a potential threat. That was the correct read. That was just reality. Here, strangers brush past you constantly. No eye contact, no threat assessment. Nobody checking each other. Thousands of people in a compressed space, and none of them are acting like it's dangerous. That's not naivety. That's a level of social infrastructure your brain can't see. But that's holding everything together. Laws, enforcement, cultural norms, systems managing 40 million daily interactions without violence. Your entire threat response system would be misfiring constantly. Too many strangers, too close, no exits, no perimeter, no predators. Think about what that means. Your whole life was structured around them. Where you slept, when you moved, how loudly you talked, whether you lit fire. Everything calibrated against the possibility of being hunted. That wasn't paranoia. That was correct. Cave lions were real. Giant hyenas in packs of 20 were real. Your nervous system was tuned to a world where something could kill you from any direction at any moment. Now you're in a world where that's simply gone. Not reduced. Gone. No apex predators anywhere in the city. Nothing that views you as prey. Your threat detection hardware is still running the exact same program. But there's nothing for it to find. That gap between the system and the reality it was built for is the entire story of modern human anxiety. Someone gets hurt here. In your world, that often meant death. A broken leg was a death sentence. An infected wound killed in weeks. You lost people to things that get treated in minutes now. Children especially. Half of all children in the Paleolithic didn't reach adulthood. Half. Illness, injury, infection, predation. The loss was constant. Here, a child breaks an arm. They go to a building, people with specialized knowledge set the bone, immobilize it, give medication for the pain. 6 weeks later, the arm works. The infection that killed your brother gets treated with a pill. 3 days. The fever that took your grandmother gets knocked out overnight. Your people built rituals around death because death was everywhere. Here, medicine has pushed it so far back that an entire generation can grow up without watching a family member die young. The smell of a city in summer, exhaust fumes, hot pavement, garbage, cooking from 100 kitchens at once. Perfume, chemicals you can't name. Your sense of smell was a survival instrument. Predator upwind, prey nearby, water source close, smoke from a distant fire. Every smell carried actionable information. Your nose processed the world the way your eyes processed movement. Directional, categorical, urgent. Here the smells are layered so thick and so alien that none of it resolves into signal. It's all interference. Your olfactory system is as overwhelmed as everything else. Nothing maps onto experience. Nothing matches stored pattern. That's the through line for all of it. Your brain isn't broken. It's the most sophisticated general-purpose pattern recognition system evolution ever produced. It's just running on inputs it was never trained to read. Here's what the thought experiment actually reveals. Not that the caveman would be confused. That's obvious. The real finding is what it shows about the brain you're using right now. It's the same brain, structurally identical, same architecture, same core systems, same threat detection hardware, same social bonding wiring, same hunger drives, same hierarchy instincts. The Paleolithic human standing at that ridge, unable to process what they were seeing, had a brain that, under different developmental conditions, could have built the thing they were looking at. The gap between them and a modern engineer isn't biological. It's not raw intelligence. It's accumulated knowledge. Thousands of years of solved problems passed forward. Every generation inheriting a more complete map. That ancestor's brain could have written software, could have designed a bridge. The hardware was already there. That's what makes the city genuinely remarkable. Not the steel, not the glass, not the electrical grid, or the water systems, or the roads. Those are outputs. The input is a brain that evolved under predation pressure on an African savanna 2 million years ago and never fundamentally changed since. The same organ that learned to read crushed grass for predator sign is now reading differential equations. The same social wiring that held a group of 50 together through a brutal winter is now running supply chains connecting billions of people. The caveman looking at the skyline wouldn't understand what they were seeing, but the thing that built the skyline and the thing looking at it are running on exactly the same